Let's go. Welcome to Earth 2 Comic Cast, where superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm. It's your boy Mo Crosby, back with the Trap God, with the Dadbod. KB, what's going on, man? What's good?
What's good? What's good? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I feel great. What are we here to talk about, man? I feel like we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about one of two things. Which one are we here to talk about right now?
Right now, we're talking about Lovecraft, this new episode of this show.
Jig-A-Bobo. What the fuck, man? Like,
I think it was supposed to say Jig-A-Bobo, but when you first
Bobo.
look at it, it looks like it does say Jig-A-Boo-Boo.
Right. It says something. It says something. I don't know what it says, but it says something. Hey,
Right.
but honestly, so this is the first thing I'm gonna ask you, bro. Like, I'm gonna ask you honestly, like, what did you think when the show ended? What were your initial thoughts on the episode? And that's how I'm gonna ask the question before we actually go in and break down. That's that thing. What we need to start doing is asking initial thoughts at the very end. What were yours?
I did not like this episode, but I liked how it ended. So this show to me is kind of like what Walking Dead was to me for a long time.
Right.
It's a lot of fluff and filler and things to make you watch, and then it's really exciting right towards the end of the episode to make you go back and watch it again next week and tell somebody, "Oh my God, you got to see it." And then when somebody says, "Oh, well, why do I have to see it?" Well, you have to see it because, well, it's a black show. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think yes, that is the basic thing. It's a black show, so you got to see the lead is black. The second lead of the show is black. It's a black woman and a black man that anchored the show and pushed the show forward. You know, it's a couple black people on the show, so yeah, you have to see it. But no, the actual truth of the matter is when we sit down and watch the show. Okay, so now I'll just go ahead and give mine. I know y'all don't care about my opinion, but because Kyle liked it last week and I didn't, so I know they for sure don't care about what I'm going to say. I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. There was nothing to like. You liked the ending, I thought, for the exact reason you mentioned about how it does what it does in the first half of the show, or the first, again, for that exact reason, I didn't like it. And I don't think it justifies me coming back next week. Or me, well, we're going to come back because we talk about the show. But I don't think it really justifies any other person who is just starting to see this show. Now, if you're waiting to binge it, I guess it could work that way, you know. But if you're watching it like we're watching it, episodic, week to week, I think it fails you because there's no the eye candy, the thing that grabs you to bring you back to the next episode, is just very meh. To me, the ending was a big blowout. You know how it ended, but I also thought like, I guess. Like, I was watching the ending like this. Okay.
I saw the end.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Okay. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I didn't like the ending. I thought it was like enough drama there to. First of all, it was a callback, right? And I know we're gonna get into that later.
Yes, because we've asked the question. You know, we've asked that question a couple times as the season has gone, right?
But tell me, did you not already put two and two together that thing was designed not to kill black people from the first episode?
Yeah, it was designed exactly because it didn't kill any of them. It didn't kill Tick. It didn't kill them. I think, or check it. It's not supposed to kill Tick because I think it could have killed. Because coming from the first episode, the second episode, I knew after they placed the importance of Tick, and then again the fifth episode sixth episode, the one from Korea where we know Tick is gonna die, and the reason he's going to die. We know Tick is the most important, or the second most, or actually the most important person of the show. Also, my problem with the show. So I know that those things are designed to protect him. I don't necessarily know if they're designed not to kill black people. Again, because on the second episode, when his uncle and when Leti were captured by the Break Whites, they were captured by the Break Whites. Tick was the only one allowed to walk, and then when they were in the rooms, Tick was the only one allowed to like talk to Christina. Yeah, Christina. So I don't necessarily think like it's designed not to kill black people. I just think it's supposed not to kill a Break White, and Tick being a Break White, he gets that pass.
Okay, I can live with that.
So I think that's what it is. So now that we've discussed the ending of the show, or our initial thoughts on it and why we don't, like that we don't like it. I think it's time to get into the why we don't like the show or why we didn't like this episode. I liked the opening, I liked the opening, but there was also a problem I had with the opening. And I think this is the problem I had with the opening is I didn't get enough of these. I think it just spans the entire episode. If you're not talking about Tick, Leti, or the adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else suffers.
Yes, that's true.
Because
and they did a horrible job character developing D throughout this whole series.
And her, yeah, because I didn't care. I mean, we all know the story of Emmett, but I didn't care for their relationship. It was one time mentioned in a party, and that was the end of it. Mm-hmm. That's your best friend, but no one knows anything.
Right.
I think he's a historical figure.
You forget that Emmett's been in the show, like that he was even mentioned.
After that one episode, because I forgot. After that one episode, I never. This is the second time you mention him, and this is the second time you mention their friendship, or the first time you mentioned their friendship, the second time you mention them. So I had a problem with that.
And he's your best friend.
Yes. I also didn't care about her relationship with him because, again, the only time we get to see her feel opening because it's very reminiscent. I guess the only reason I care too much for the opening because it's very reminiscent of what's going on right now today.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, that's it.
I thought it was interesting that he wasn't embalmed. I didn't realize they didn't embalm Emmett when he originally died.
I think it was the mom's decision, and they mentioned that she was brave enough to show the world.
I knew she showed. Like I know that. So I went to the African American Museum.
You're saying that they didn't embalm him. Yeah, again.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And then they said that they could smell the body in the streets, which is trauma by itself.
Yes,
I thought it was real good how the director of this show, like of this episode, kind of caught the two different groups though. There was the group that was calling for action and the group that was calling for prayer.
Yes.
And I did like that because as a country, we have those two different groups. It just so happened that the one that looks for prayer and prayer that things get better, they get a lot more light than the group that calls for action. Right. Whenever we lose one of our own. But I thought it was pretty good how this show did capture that. But again, I'm not going to give this episode too much credit because it just wasn't a good episode. Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, so good things did happen.
Yeah.
The opening of the show, the thing that we're talking about with the two different groups. So good things did happen. So it's not like, so if you want to clamp onto that and keep pushing with that, then you're allowed to. When D goes missing, the group decides to split up and go look for her. Tick has a mission. Leti is the only one that I think actively goes to look for D, and her sister Ruby just goes home or goes back to William / Christina's house. And I thought that scene with William and Christina. Well, you know what? Actually, the scene that they, when she gets to the house and it's like, are you here for trouble? Don't bring your shit over. Like, if you wanted to make that scene powerful, you could have used. Because it was William, right? It was William. You could have used him to be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Don't talk to my woman or my girl or, something like that, right?
No.
But
William wasn't phased at all.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was just like, is there any trouble here? Don't worry about it. Just like what I would have expected them to do is some type of, but I guess they don't want Christina / William to be an ally per se, because the scene that follows I thought was very interesting, as a very interesting choice.
Does that mirror society though? Like just being honest, like when there's an issue, like I'll use Freddie Gray for instance. When the Freddie Gray murder happened here, and you have black people that live in affluent neighborhoods in Maryland, like let's say Owens Mills or Glendon or whatever have you, and you might have a group that go over there to their own home. And the house looks nice. Do the police officers look at them like, "Oh, don't bring that drama over here"?
I think so. I would like to think so. I would like to think that there's a little bit of, if you're not really like super known, if you just moved into the neighborhood, I would like to think that would happen. Because again, I saw a story today. It's funny that you bring that up. I saw a story today on the news that a man driving a brand new car, this white lady had called the cops on him because she thought it was stolen because she didn't see that he had dealer tags in his window.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, he had a temp tags in his window, but he had the dealer logo. You know how you when you get a new car, the dealer's logo or dealer tags, and then there's the temp tag. So I think she didn't that she didn't know, but she called the cops on him. I think that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to think that does happen. That does mirror society. But the problem I had with them, that entire thing, was when she has sex with William as a white woman and then turns around to try to guilt Christina into, I guess, feeling her trauma.
Yeah.
I was like, so who the fuck cares? You already done, like, because you see the thing I think Ruby's character to me is that black person who has got a taste of, I'm gonna say this and I hope I don't sound wrong. The black person that's got a taste of success or the taste of white people that is like, you know what, let me not, but then I still have my issues, but I'm gonna still try to appeal to my whiteness or my white friends.
Right.
But I'm gonna still keep my issues. And one time I'm gonna ask my white friends to feel my pain. And if they don't, I can't really, because again, she wasn't mad that when she brought up the thing to Christina that she said, no, I don't feel it.
Right. She wasn't. Have you ever read The Icy Papers by Frances Wilson, Dr. Frances Wilson?
No, I haven't. You want to go ahead?
She touches on that. She has she passed away about 2 or 3 years ago now, but she has some YouTube documentaries up as well, YouTube speeches from off her book as well. But in the ISIS paper, she touches on the white man's guilt, the white man's burden, how they perceive. She actually breaks Floyd down into how it impacts race, which is interesting and eye-opening at the same time. So in there, she talks about, what do white people talk about when we're not around? How do they feel about black issues when we're not around? And I looked at how Christina postured herself around Ruby, how she talked to Ruby, and I thought, to a certain degree, she placed herself as equal to Ruby or tried to make Ruby equal to her. If you look at her posturing, as opposed to how she postured around Leti, in this episode, it was different posturing. I'm not going to say go back and look at this episode again, but if you get a chance, just look at the posturing. Just look at the posturing.
Right.
It's very telling. It's some kind of equalness, but at the same time, she showed her hand, and I think it's telling how, yes, you could sleep with me. Yes, you could live with me. Yes, I could love you. You could love me. I could love you in whatever form you want me to love you in. If you need me to love you as a man, I could love you as a man. If you're comfortable with me being myself as a woman, I could be myself in a woman. But let's not be mistaken here. I'm still white. You're with me because you want to get away from the thing that limited you. You're black.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I mentioned, did you ever read Frances Wilson or listen to her speeches? Because she actually talks about that.
Right. So I that whole scene just rubbed me the wrong way. But you're right. In the beginning of that scene when Ruby's talking, Christina, if you watch it, Christina and Ruby are kind of eye level.
Mm-hmm.
But towards the end where she answers her, she stands a little taller than her.
Mm-hmm.
Christina stands a little taller than her. And that goes back to, as you said, how she postures around Leti. She's never standing level. She's always taller than Leti. She always postures, her shoulders are up, her head is higher than Leti's because we're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
For Ruby, it's, you know what, I will give you a chance to feel, to be on my level, I will let you say things and do things that can bring you to my level. But at the end of the day, like you said, I am still white. And that's why at the end of that speech or that scene, she stands taller. So yes, we could talk about the themes and how the themes are good, but in terms of writing and in terms of what it looks like, it's not. The show is not good. But certain things, because we can draw and we can delve deeper into it, I think make it bearable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, even when Leti was with Tick this episode, She said, what was it
Oh,
called?
Letty with Tick. Don't get me started.
Not Letty with Tick. Christina with Tick. Yeah, because that's where the Letty with Tick part. That's where I'm going to butcher the show. So to everybody who dislikes it when I butcher the show, but I give you facts, just know I'm coming with fire, and it's going to happen. It's the show's fault. It's not the fact that I don't like the show. It's the fact that this show makes it so that it's not written well.
You don't like it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. This show makes me not like it. I'm watching this show with you guys. Like, it's not like I don't want to like it. It makes me not like it.
Yeah, Christina and Tick.
Yeah. It's not enough whiteness in you to sell that entitlement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their relationship is weird. It's like a cousin, but it's like a I don't like you, but I need you. Both of them have that I don't like you, but I need you type thing. Mm-hmm. Because Tick goes to Christina and asks for her to teach him a spell, and he offers her something, and it's crazy, right? She teaches him a spell. She tells him what to do for a spell. You need intense, blah blah blah. I didn't care for that scene. Move on. I mean, it didn't care for anything with Tick. Honestly. And then we get to Letty and Tick. I think no. Let's talk about D for a second. Let's go through all of D's story in this, because again, I think D's story was supposed to be the story. Diana's story was supposed to be the story for the show, but somehow got lost in the mess of this episode. It got lost in itself too, because when now the police find the comic book, the comic strip that she draws for her parents. Mm-hmm. They find it, they come, they pick her up, or they take her into an alley. Where's your mom? Obviously they can do this because this is back in the day. I'm pretty sure they can still do it today. But they take her in an alley. They ask for her mom. My mom's name is Hippolyta, and the one cop is like these, like these niggers.
And their African names.
African names. What a dummy. And then the other cop curses her. Like.
Yeah, this is a little spit thing on the forehead.
Oh, that's
very
gross.
That's a disgusting. Very thick loogie that he gave.
Because that was a fucking loogie. I was like, that bothered me, because why would you want? You know what? It's fine. It's for the show's aesthetics, I guess. She goes through the entire episode running away from these demons, right? That are chasing her. But before the demons get to her, she goes home, or she goes to Montrose's place. Mm-hmm. Goes in the bathroom. One of the books fall out, and she sees. Go ahead.
By the door, which it's a book of the writings of the first Black CIA agent who was used as, I don't want to say Uncle Tom, but was basically used as a mole in Black society. It was later redeemed as satire. At one point in time, it was used for trainings for CIA agents and FBI agents. It came out in 1969. I read that book about 4 times growing up because we had it in my house. Yeah, so that's that.
So yeah, the characters from the book are chasing her, and I think that's the demons that he calls to to get to her. So all she's doing in this episode is running into people. So she runs into Letty. Hey, Letty, I need your help. Do you think if she stayed in Letty's house that she would have been safe?
I don't know. I never even thought of it like that. Because the book had changed. You know what I mean? Like at one point in time, the girl in the book was the one.
Cute.
Was one.
And then she became the demon. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Because the reason I think that is because if we go to a couple episodes back when Christina tried to get in the house but couldn't. Now turn around, the officer tried to get in the house but couldn't.
Yeah, he couldn't.
Do you think that protection spell would have translated to D? But I guess they needed her to get to, they needed that to happen to her so the episode could progress. I don't know. I don't know.
You know what? I don't know.
I don't know why they do anything on this show. There's no reason. Like it took us what? Not 8 episodes, right? It's episode 8. It took us 8 episodes to understand Tick's motivation, and finally I feel like that's D's story, because at the end of the day, D does get attacked by the demons. But the thing that bothered me the most is this young Black girl walks into a police lodge and walks out. But I guess the reason she's able to walk out is because the police chief decided he didn't want to do anything to her because she's cursed.
Yeah.
But she walks in. bro. She had to walk past people.
Yeah, and nobody said a thing about it.
So
Again, maybe the
again, what?
usage of this. Remember the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
The spook who stood by the
So
door.
so she
So
snuck in.
maybe they thought she was their mole. And remember, he even proposed that idea to her, like kind of like spying on. And let's not forget, Ruby technically is doing just that.
Right.
So
Which is great because her sister calls out on it. Before we get there, let's go Letty and Tig. So Tig comes back from seeing Christina and walks in the house. And in the house is Jiha sitting across the table from Letty. And Tig spazzes. Like, this is Tig. This is I think you're called Tig a liar, right? Because of what he did to Jiha, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then no, not to Jiha, to Letty.
He never told Letty that he slept with her.
So Tig is a bastard.
And remember you said I think he did. Like I knew he didn't. I knew he didn't tell her.
Tig is a bastard. And there's nothing to like about him at all. No. Period. There's nothing to like about Tig. If you've liked Tig leading up to that moment,
which I don't know how.
Once that again, because he's the problem of the show to me, is when Tig. Listen to when we've actually liked the show. Tig has not been in it. As soon as he comes, he's the central part of the show. It goes to shit. From that moment, I don't think I will ever care for this character anymore.
Tig was here's the thing. They made Tig an intelligent character. He seemed to have some morals about him, right? And I think his character's writing is meant to be A, the main character, B, meant to be our eyes in this universe. And they've done a horrible job at making him the eyes of the universe because they just go all over the place with his writing. Now, here's the character that's supposed to be balanced in this universe that you have flying off the handle at I forget her name, but
Jiha. And it's not her fault.
It wasn't her fault.
It's literally not her fault.
And like he one thing about Tig's character, the show made a point that the show throughout the whole series was he's a very balanced and reasonable guy. This is completely unreasonable. Even all the way down to the father scene where he's drinking with his dad later on in this episode, you could see, well, he's reasonable. He could at least talk to his dad about things. You know what I mean? Even though he's mad at his father about his father being gay. You know what I mean? Like they made it a point that to show, well, he still has his father around. Like, so you made it a point to show this character is reasonable. You know what I mean? And then you just do something completely unreasonable.
Flies off the handle.
Like completely out of character.
And I think they explain the way that happens. I think the way they try to explain it is because she's a succubus, and it's because she's seen his death. It's because she warned him about it. She warned you about your fucking impending death. She didn't take life from you. She didn't do anything to you. She loved you. You loved her, and all of a sudden you don't anymore. Like, yo, fuck Tig for this shit. Fuck him for how he acted. I'm sorry. From that point on, I didn't care if the character died or lived. So moving forward, Tig and Letty, I don't like what they did to Letty in this episode. And I think ever since she became pregnant and ever since she became like she's an impending mother, it's like her whole character has kind of devolved. And she goes from this strong character to like, I guess they try to show mother or mothering instincts and mothering nature, and I think that's where we are now. Yeah. What do you think?
Also, the show has some lazy writing, so
very much so.
I wrote down lazy writing because, what's her name? Jiha. She goes, "I saw your death. Well, when am I going to die? I don't know. How am I going to die? I don't know." That's the most laziest writing. So I'm going to keep making it a point to show you're going to die. I'm even going to bring in another character to show that this character is going to die. After this character spent an episode decoding something, saying that he's going to die, just to go, well, I don't know how you're going to die. You know, like, that's lazy writing. That is really lazy writing.
It's horrible. It's bad. It's not good. I don't like it. I didn't like Tig this episode. I mean, okay, I take that back. The one time or the one thing. Oh, so we've gone through 8 episodes and we finally get to Tig's motivation or a motivation for Tick to continue to do what he's doing, because I think his initial motivation was we just got to beat the white people, right? Now his motivation is for my future son who writes a book, I want to live.
But he's kept going. There's too much at stake even before that revelation was made. I'm like, dude,
What was at stake, bro?
This whole series, no stakes at all. None. When it was underwater and gonna drown when the sun came up, no stakes. At no point in time did I feel like any of the cast was gonna die. Like, there's no stakes. Finally, oh well, the future of my unborn son. And then this show finds a way to even then make that stake not even a very serious stake, and we'll get into that later.
Shit, might as well, bro. Like, okay,
the mark of Cain. Right, sorry. Yeah. Well, we'll get there soon. You just hold on.
So before we get into that, let's talk about Leti and her sister. When Leti finally when Ruby finally reveals to Leti that she knows about magic and she knows what's going on, and it's Christina or William letting her know, and she can be a white woman now, and the reason she wants to be a white woman is just, and the reason she's still doing listen, it's like Ruby's and Uncle Tom, or what's the female version of Uncle Tom? Because literally that's all she is. She has Uncle Tom. Yeah, Ruby's Uncle Tom. There's no Yas Queen. Even when she did the thing where she stuck the shoe where she raped the white guy with the shoes, she's an Uncle Tom because she's loving it. She loves it. She's enjoying being a white woman. She's enjoying her whiteness.
And she enjoyed it from day one. She enjoyed it the first time. Even with the shoe thing, she enjoyed being the supervisor of the black woman and giving her a hard time, hazing her for being black. She enjoys it.
She enjoys all of it. So I'm not going to give Ruby like a gold medal for that one thing she said for the first time she acknowledged her blackness to the white master. I'm not going to give her that. She's an Uncle Tom. She's snitching or she's spying or something to you know what, before we get into like the final couple things that happen, one more thing happens in the show. Christina decides to die like Emmett Till. I thought it was insulting.
It was.
Because the reason I thought it was insulting was when she finally died and came back, because she put a spell on herself to not get harmed, right? When she comes back, she's laughing. She's literally cackling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if your purpose initially was for her to feel what it's like, it fails because she comes back and she's laughing.
Not only that, you've already made it a point that you don't care about black issues. You don't care about the black struggle. Yes, you're sleeping with a black woman at your convenience.
Facts.
Because you want something that the black woman
can get you.
Yeah. And again, is that life art imitating life? Because is it possible that a lot of times when you see somebody like, let's say, Dr. Dre's wife, that they're married to somebody, is it because they're able to get wealth? And I'm totally not trying to be controversial here.
He went there.
I'm really not, but I am going to be.
He went 100. There. Beats by Dre.
Yeah, yo, it's the truth though. Like Dre was a billionaire. Like Dre was a billionaire, and his wife has milked him for more than half of his worth.
Has she gotten any of it? I don't think she's gotten it. I don't think they finalized it because the judge did deny. Yeah, the judge denied her request for whatever the amount of money she was asking for. I think they're gonna lessen it, but and her reasoning for it, I think, is the reason. It's like, yo, none of this should affect you.
But think about how many football players, basketball.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Tiger Woods, like the countless others, right?
Yeah, that happens.
And
so I think that scene just was like, again, for me, stupid and useless, because nothing about that scene shows remorse. Nothing about that scene shows like I understand how I feel. It's just I want to know what it's like. I want the experience without actually having the experience, because I'm not going to die. I'm going to come right back. And again, I don't think I'm going to really, really feel it, because is this it? Is this what it feels like to be black for a second? Oh, okay. Well, let me continue to be a white woman and continue to live as a white woman or a white man if I feel like, it's like, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. Nothing that happens in this. Actually, a lot of the shit that happens in the show do not matter. like at all, for nothing.
Yeah, it's sad.
What else? What else do you want to talk? Because I think I'm tired of talking. What else do you want to talk
I was tired of the stakes. I didn't like the Leti and Tick scene, right?
No, shit.
No, like the Leti and Tick scene where
at the end,
the part when Leti goes, "Oh, get out, get out, get out. Where are you going? Where are you going?" Right? Like literally 7 seconds later. Like I think I timed it. It was 7 seconds.
Yeah, where you gonna go?
Say, where she said, "Get out." To where you're gonna go? Where are you going? Why are you leaving? Like that to me destroyed Letty's character to me on this whole show, because Leti is such an intelligent character, strong black woman character,
and strong.
Yeah, and not a trope. And you turned around and made her a trope in that scene. Right. And it's like, why? On top of Leti and her sister had a whole Leti and Ruby had a falling out over Ruby being a spy. And then Leti turned around and did the same thing in the church, making a deal with her to get a mark of Cain to be protected from everything.
Yeah, I think the mark of Cain was supposed to protect. She wanted it for Tick. And she's like, I can't give it a Tick. And she didn't ask why.
But she quickly took it.
She quickly took it.
You know what? She couldn't. Both did the same thing.
The problem is she should have asked why. And there's a why you don't want to give it a Tick. Because again, if you said they're going to sacrifice you, I think, did they say they were going to sacrifice Tick? I don't remember. They said
in the book he was sacrificed for.
Oh, so it's in the book. So Tick knows how he's going to die. He hasn't told anybody how he's going to die. You know what? I'm done.
But again,
you want to talk about the end of it? Because I'm tired.
Like they decided the fourth wall break, which okay. Here's the thing. You tell the story of the actual book. You tell what characters is what and what is different. So your fourth wall breaking and say what the source material is at the end of the why? Why?
Listen, man, don't ask me any questions. I don't know. I've already told you I don't understand what they're trying to do. I don't get it. I don't get anything that they're trying to do on this show. Then we get to the end where we already talked about the police officer was trying to get in the house and he couldn't. He tried to get in the house and he couldn't. 1, 2, he tries to, and then he's like, let's go. And then he shoots the house down. You're still not going to be able to get into it, but I think you want to kill the people in it. So you're shooting the house up. Tick gets back. Tick, for some reason, tried to do this incantation with his dad and it didn't work. He didn't, quote unquote, didn't work. And then he gets to the house and he turns around and the cop is like, put your hands up. And obviously, black man, put your hands up. You're threatening, so I'm going to shoot you regardless, right? And you see Leti running out the house because she has the mark of Cain and nothing can happen to her. So she runs out the house to go save her boo. And before she gets there, the shot has been fired. And right, because we know no one is going to die, because we know that's not how Tick dies. In the most dramatic thing ever, one of those monsters from the beginning, vampire monsters, pops out the ground and goes on a killing spree, kills all the cops.
Yes.
But then it gets to the captain, and it just, what we see is it rips his arm off. We don't see him get killed, but we see every other cop get killed. And at the end, it comes to Tick, and Tick, trying to shield himself from it, gets to pet it.
Yeah.
So the question I'll ask, right, was the spell or incantation to save Tick's life, was it what brought the monster to him?
I think that's what it was.
So that's it?
I mean, it could be more, but it looks like that was it. And again, it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. I feel like it's some kind of connection between Tick and these underground vampire things around the birthrights, especially Tick.
So I don't want to telegraph the end. Like, if we get to the end, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Christina dies? At this point, we're just going to watch so we can get to the point, but I'm not excited.
Christina's technically immortal now, right? But she didn't sacrifice Tick, right?
Yeah, she's not immortal. She just can die and come back. I don't think she's immortal. I just think she can die and come back.
So maybe she's going to be successful with learning how to become immortal. Tick's going to die from that, but some kind of way Tick's going to come back.
So you think Tick's done? Like, at the end of the day, Tick's done. Well, for this season is done, and then he's going to come back next season.
They'll find a way to bring him back.
Of course.
Because that's what this writing is going to go. and
Why
possibly
you sound so mad?
because Joe, like I was doing who campaign for this show.
You were.
Sucks.
Because I watched the first episode and I watched the second one. I was like, crap. Please don't ask me to do this. Please don't ask me to do this. And just clockwork. He's like, let's do it. And me not saying no, I was like, fuck it, let's do it. Maybe if I say I don't like it, you can like it enough for for the show for Earth 2. And but it seems like that couldn't even happen. But you know what? I think we've gotten to the end because I don't want to discuss this episode anymore. If you want to, go ahead. If there's anything else you have in your notes that you want to talk about that we haven't touched on, go ahead. But I am just done. Like, I am literally done. I'm watching that big end scene, which was supposed to be like this bonanza of like, oh my God, look, Tick can't die. This monster, da. I see that, and I'm like, oh, okay. I was watching it like just like this, like, oh, okay. Cop here, cop there,
it
blood,
like
guts. Yeah, it
like
wasn't great. It wasn't even a great scene. It was just the monster ripping people up. Nothing. You know what's funny? You know the funniest part of this, right? We've sat down and we've said Christina's motivation is immortality, and she wants to control the whatever the name of the Sons of Mithras or whatever their
right
cult is called, right?
Totally don't get
it. I saw someone say, I've watched all the episodes and I don't understand what Christina's motivation is. If, mind you, this is a casual watcher, I think, right. But how can you not understand it when they keep telling you every episode, oh, immortality, oh, I want to control this, oh.
But you think about it, we actually dissect the show for this.
Oh, so if you're a casual watcher, you're gonna miss shit, is what you're saying.
It's kind of like Penguin off of Gotham. It's like, oh, what is he up to this week? You know what I mean? That's how she's really A to B, like Penguin off of Gotham.
Yeah, I'm over it. Anyway, so let's
give her that kind of credit. Penguin on Gotham
it's smart.
On Gotham.
Right. All right, so that's all you want to talk about. So let's get into the promo for next week.
Wait,
one more thing. Okay, all right, go ahead.
I ripped that. It was one other thing I wanted to. Oh, the sex scene, because this show has to rely on sex to tell a story.
Oh my God!
I just need to rip this because again, somebody's gonna be on our troll call next week because of us ripping this, and I just want to point out why is it that she had to have sex with Christina in order to get to the you don't feel what I feel part? Like, no, if you were that upset and that angry, you would have that conversation.
Oh, have sex also, you also wouldn't have sex as a white woman.
Exactly.
If you wanted to have angry sex, fine, but not as a white woman, not as your alter. Have sex as yourself, bro. Exactly. Live in your shame. Like, she didn't want to live in her shame. She's fucking Uncle Tom, bro. It's simple. Because there are many black people. She's the AG from Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
So when I rip this show, when you guys hear me and you guys hear Mo rip this show, this is why. It's because the writing is horrible. HBO thinks that you're so stupid, and they really do. These writers and these directors think you're so stupid that they can keep you glued by sex, a white person dying here and there, one or two
cops dying.
Comments.
Because that's the thing. Once the cops die, it's like, oh my God, the show is so great because they're killing cops. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. That is some woke shit. That does nothing for the show because guess what? Nothing. Guess what? They're going to have like a race war. That's exactly what's going to happen. Like, I can tell you what's going to happen looking at that end of the scene. What's going to happen is the neighbors are going to be, oh, you killed all the cops.
And they can't go in your house. You got property that they can't go into.
Yeah. Oh, y'all got to die. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen, bro. Period. I'm fucking over it.
Yeah, so when you hear us rip this show, it's not because we don't want to like this show. We wanted to like this show.
The show is not giving you anything to like, bro.
It's not giving us nothing to like. Even the strongest characters, they find a way to just ruin.
To fuck them up, yeah. Like, the Tick 360 or 180 that they did not make sense. Oh, I never loved you. Like, get the fuck out of here, Tick. You was fucking crying. Talking about, I've never done this before. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Bringing her on the base and everything.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, I don't want to hear that
shit. This is what they're trying. This is what they want you to go out and tell your friends, watch the show for. This is intelligent television that they have spoon-fed for you, telling you this is intelligent television. Just want to point that out. You deserve better. You, the viewer, you deserve better.
You do. So let's get into this fucking promo for next week and talk about it or break it down, whatever, because I'm done talking about Lovecraft Country, episode 8, Jig-A-Bobo, whatever. But this is episode
2 more episodes of this crap to suffer through. We're
Right.
not doing this next season.
So
Yeah, I
this
just
is
wanna
this
make
is
that
it. I'm
obvious.
guessing. I'm guessing. Okay, so it's looking like, of course, Ruby's gonna say, of course, of fucking course.
Oh, so they set the house on fire. Oh, so she turns into the demon girl thing.
Hmm. Of course, she goes to Christina to save her. Race war. What did I say? What did I say? So they're back at the portal, and it works. But Tick did say the portal don't work no more. You want to see that again?
Yeah, because didn't Tick have the key or whatever?
Yeah, he did.
He gave the key to Christina.
Yeah, that's what he gave her for the spell. So
Was the two dancing girls that were chasing her? Were they the
yeah,
girls that was having fun at the beginning of the episode?
no, those were the girls from the book. The
Okay.
characters from the book. Remember, because they had switched into the demons for like a second, and they switched back, and
Okay.
yeah. So I guess she's turning into those demons.
Mhm.
And then, of course, Ruby goes to fucking Christina for help. They go back to the observatory. There's a race war. There's a little bit of race wars. Tick makes it work again somehow. Who goes in the portal? Like, they're. All right, man. I guess that's that.
Sure. Whatever. I want to like it. I want to like this show.
It might be good. We might get
I
the
hope it
last
is.
2 episodes. If the last, okay, let me ask you this question before we go. If the last 2 episodes are good, are you coming back for it, or
If
would
the
it
last
be
two
enough?
It depends on who's writing next season. Who's writing, who's show running, all that. Like all that's really going to impact me watching next season because I deserve. Like I'm sorry,
He said I deserve better.
I deserve better. Like I do. Like
We all do,
my
bro.
time is so valuable. Like look how long it took us to cast this, and then the other show.
Oh yeah.
Like think about it.
You know,
like,
I feel like it did take us long because, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it took me a minute because, like, I wanted to be like, okay, I want to watch this. I want to watch this show. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this show at all. I don't like this episode, and it's gonna be very, very difficult for me to sit here and try to talk about it. So I think that's why it took me as long as it took me to get ready for it. Period. Because I didn't want to talk about it.
and like
I feel
watched
like
it on Monday. And you was like,
you wanted to talk about it because you wanted to fucking go in on it.
Yeah,
But I didn't even want to give it that much.
You guys are lucky we didn't cast this yesterday because I was
you were
so angry.
You were because you had just watched it yesterday. I watched it on Sunday. You had just watched it yesterday. And you were angry. Because again, as Black entertainment, we really should call out our Black entertainers and call out our Black writers and our Black directors. Stop using tropes. Stop trying to beat a certain topic over the head. Make shit good.
Yes,
Make shit good, bro. Like that's it.
You don't have to entertain me by sexualizing stuff. You don't.
No, like that sex scene. I don't mind sex scenes because we're adults.
It shouldn't be a constant thing if you show me in order to entertain me, though.
Oh no, that sex scene was ridiculous. It was stupid. It didn't make any sense to the show. This episode did not require a sex scene at all.
There was no need for it.
Because if you took that sex scene out, that scene where Ruby is talking to Christina is more powerful.
Exactly.
Makes more sense. So, I mean, that is the show. You want to say something before we go? I guess not. Thank you guys for watching.
Hopefully you guys watch a great show, which is the show we're going to cast next.
Right. So yeah,
The Boys.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening because you're going to be listening on the podcast. It's also going to go on the podcast. We will catch you next week, Monday or Tuesday, for episode 9 of Lovecraft Country, God willing.
This show sucks. Like,
hopefully it's good enough so Kyle can come back. We'll see you next week. Peace.